like kind of drama-y, but I'm just interested in your take. Do you give any stock to if Brock Purdy looks slow against the Jaguars that, we could see Sam Darnold type thing? How do you feel? How would
No.
you feel if yeah, I
Yeah.
also don't.
Look, here's my
How
thing
long do you
too.
think his leash is? How bad, how many games would he have to play bad before they were like, Sam Darnold, here we
Yeah,
go?
I think it should be a long leash. I don't think that he should get benched. I think it's good that the struggles are happening right now. Imagine if he goes 10-0 and then he doesn't lose these last 3 games. So he's 10-3 as a regular season starter, right? 10-3 is a damn good record. But imagine if this train just kept rolling and then these struggles started to happen in December. Not a good time for those things to happen because then you have no momentum
Yeah,
and you're starting to crater a little bit going into the playoffs. This like early third, early half of the season for the struggles to happen now, I think it's best. And I think it could be a blessing in disguise because then he's able to learn from it and he's able to rebound. And at the end of the year, hopefully he can get back on track. And the Niners understand what their identity is with this particular team, where they can put together a game plan that kind of taps into his strengths. I think that you have to continue to work through some of these issues here because Peyton Manning to start his career, Troy Aikman to start his career, the greats went through early struggles in their respective careers, but they learned from those and they became better quarterbacks, just like us as people. When we make mistakes, right? We make those mistakes, but then sometimes we come out better from them because we learn from them. Like the same can be said for a quarterback. And I think that the Niners have to continue to roll with Brock Purdy here so that he can work through some of these issues. I don't think that, the concussion thing is an issue either. A lot of people thought and suspected that maybe he suffered a second one late in the game against the Bengals when he banged his head on the ground.
Right.
Kyle Shanahan said he made it out of the game okay. I saw a video today of Brock Purdy. He's on a cornfield harvesting. Like, it looks like he's in a pretty good spot right now. So I think going into Jacksonville, he'll be okay.
I don't know, speaking of that, like one viral clip, it's kind of funny. Like, I feel like when things are taken out of context, when I saw that on Twitter, I'm like, oh my gosh, no. But I remember seeing that in the game and the holding his head seemed more, because it was right after the interception. So it seemed more like he was like, oh, like, I can't believe I just did that versus like, ow,
Also, first
It just
instinct,
depends
like
on
if
the
I'm coming
angle.
off a concussion and I hit my head, I'm going to probably
Yeah,
be
you
like,
might just
oh
be like,
shit, did I do it again? All right, I'm good. I'm good.
yeah, exactly. And I agree with you when it comes to the Sam Darnold stuff. To me, and I feel this way about the kind of fire Wilks talk too. To me, if you're a Super Bowl contender and you think you're a Super Bowl caliber team, what those teams aren't doing is changing coordinators and changing quarterbacks in the middle of their season. You know what I mean? You
Exactly.
have to stick with a guy. You have to ride through the lulls. Sam Darnold has thrown 4 interceptions in a game before. Like, you know what I mean? It's not like there's some amazing quarterback that you're just like not playing for no reason on the bench. Like, you'd
Keep
be
in
going
mind,
to a guy.
Sam Darnold's played 51 games or started 51 games. He's thrown
Yeah, like
51
we know
picks.
it.
Like,
Yeah.
we know who Sam Darnold is at this point.
Exactly. I feel that way too. I feel like that talk is a little bit silly, and I think that something that I was kind of impressed by at the start of this season was Kyle Shanahan's ability to kind of get behind Brock Purdy and the team's ability to get behind Kyle Shanahan's decision and be like, nope, this is the guy. You heard, Nick Bosa, Brandon Ayuk, Kyle Shanahan refer to him as the real deal. Fred Warner on that podcast said the same thing coming off that Vikings game. He kind of said, people that were criticizing Brock Purdy's play don't really know anything about football, which, maybe is some guy sticking up for his guy. But I like that the team seems to be 100% behind the quarterback, and I think causing like some sort of controversy in that way right now would only create unnecessary like outside noise and drama that this team doesn't need, and that's not going to like propel them to win a Super Bowl. I think, yeah, maybe they won't win a Super Bowl with Brock Purdy, but they're definitely not going to win one if they're firing their defensive coordinator and getting, switching between Sam Darnold and Brock Purdy depending on who has a better game that week. Like, that's just not that sort of sustainability. I felt that way with the offensive line too, right? Like, a lot of people are saying for the trade deadline, maybe bring someone in, which I wasn't opposed to, but something that I've heard other people kind of say is the continuity is really important. Like, you kind of need to get your guys, and then you need to be able to create like some sort of rhythm and lull and connection together. So I just think, I think that I understand the maybe funness of talking about it for just the chaos of it. But I think if you're actually trying to navigate like the best path to a Super Bowl for the 49ers, it's sticking with one guy. And same thing with Steve Wilks, kind of writing him out. I remember in the beginning of the season when people, and you might be like have insight in this, but people were kind of comparing the 49ers to the Eagles and saying how the 49ers looked more dominant, even though the Eagles were also winning just as many games. My thought was like, give the Eagles time because they're assimilating two new coordinators. And as they go on, they're going to get better because they're going to be more comfortable with the scheme and with the play calling. And I kind of feel similarly with Steve Wilks. I think that you have to ride him out. And I don't think that the solution going to this bye week is firing anyone or making any moves like that. I think it's really coming together, doing internal assessment on what's been working, what hasn't been working, and really coming out more mentality-wise different. And then I think a lot of it is on the coaching staff, not only defensively, but also offensively, to kind of be more creative and put your players in the best position to win.
I like that phrasing, internal assessment. And I think that the Niners just have to make the necessary changes in-house and make the adjustments. These coaches, these players, they're paid a lot of money to make adjustments on the fly. That's what makes the NFL such a beautiful game, is that tactical adjustments are made throughout the course of a game. Tactical adjustments are made throughout the course of a season. Championship teams in all of professional sports, they're not firing coaches mid-year. NFL teams aren't messing around with the quarterback spot. Oh, let's see if we can catch a flame with Sam Darnold. No. If you think that Brock Purdy is your guy and you've said he's the real deal, then deal with him during his struggles, because then you can reap the dividends and the benefits of him coming out of those struggles and being a better player.
I completely agree. Okay, Chase, I had a really good time having you on here today. It's a little bit of a shorter show, but we started a little bit late, and I so appreciate you coming on and giving me time. Like I said, I love your channel. Been watching for a really long time. Everyone here is probably super subscribed to you because you have like 1 million subscribers. I've been talking to my dad while I've been like doing this content stuff. And I'll tell him about certain players, and he's like, "Oh, there's this one guy. He has like 1 billion subscribers." And I was like, "Oh, who?" And then he was showing me, which I realized I showed him you, because my dad didn't even watch YouTube back in the day. And then I started showing him little clips, and you're like his favorite. He'll always
cool.
like send me your little analysis. Not little, but your analysis videos and stuff. So
awesome.
I had such a good time having you on here. Do you have any last minute things that you'd love to say? I'd love to have you on a different time whenever you're free. I know you have like a super crazy busy schedule with, like I said, covering multiple teams and doing everything you're doing. Very impressive.
Yeah. No, first of all, appreciate those kind words. Tell your dad I said hello.
I will.
Hopefully he's watching right now. Pops, if you're watching, hello.